Yummy, 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 I have amor in my panza. Hey guys, it's Gloria, Cheap Yummy Shiny. I'm here today to show you how to make tortillas at home. Corn tortillas, fresh corn tortillas, cheaper than store-bought, way more delicious. I got my new tortilla press. My friend Salim and I made this at Hoboken Maker Bar. It's my new squisher. And this is all handmade. We didn't buy butcher block. We put this all together from scratch. All right, let me show you what you do. You're gonna need to go buy some corn maza. I get mine at Aldi because it is quite inexpensive. It's like $2 or less for this whole bag. It has a chart to tell you what measurements to use. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'll do a small one just to show you. 1 cup of the maza, of the corn meal, 2/3 cup of water, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. This does not need to be exact, you know. This isn't like baking where if you have an extra half cup of something, it completely changes things. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't have to be exact, you know. We're not talking rocket science. We're not talking baking. We're, again, a little too much or a little too little of... Okay, this isn't working. Let's try the big one and watch me. Yep, see, I knew that was going to happen. Okay. Again, it's not a big deal. I just don't want to make them overly salty. One thing to remember is that hot water is what you need to use, not cold water, not lukewarm. I went ahead and boiled this and let it sit for a little while to try to cool it off a little bit. It is a little painful. So that's why I use a spoon to mix it in. I can deal with a certain amount of heat, but it is pretty hot. It's a 2/3 of a cup of water. I go ahead and I just start with a little bit, and I just mix it in as I go until I hit the right texture. So it's still warm. Some people might find it uncomfortable. Just warning you right now, it is quite hot. But if you cook all the time, you're used to putting your hands into hot things. It's not a big deal. So you're going to need this dough. Incorporating all of the dry corn flour. Okay. Now you do have to knead this for a bit because what you're trying to do is get the right texture. So just mixing it together and leaving it, don't get the best results. You knead it a bit until it's all sticking together and you don't have bits falling off, and you can see it incorporating and changing little by little. You can see it looks more doughy instead of crumbly. It'll always be a little crumbly because it is corn flour, but you could see that the more I knead it, the more I work with it, the more incorporated it becomes and the more solid as a unit it becomes, so to speak. Now I'm going to cover this so as to keep it from drying out. You let it sit, you let it rest for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be like, we're not talking like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. We're just talking a few minutes. And that gives me the chance to basically preheat what I'm going to cook this on. Let's go on to the next step. First, after this is rested for a while, you grab little balls, like little bits of it. I'm going to make smaller tortillas, which are easier to cook and easier to deal with, and they're kind of cute. So you just roll them into a ball. It's not going to work quite the same as a wheat flour dough. So you have to be a little gentle with it. Don't really squeeze them because it will crumble a bit. Okay. So I just squish it like this. And then gently roll into a ball until it's more or less homogeneous. Because you see, like, it has like little places where I've stuck it together. It'll break apart right there, so you're trying to make these as smooth as you can. You don't have to make them perfect, but just keep that in mind. I'm not making a ton of tortillas, so when I'm making a small amount like this, I'll go ahead and roll all the dough up. Again, don't let it dry out, cover it back up. So now, time for the squishing. All right, open up the press. You have to use a liner. One, it's probably not good to get a lot of food on your press if you can help it. If it's metal, it's easier to clean. Wood, you know, there's no need. And also, it sticks. It will not come off. What I do is I take a gallon plastic bag and I just cut off the sealing part and then cut it in half so that it's flat-ish. I reuse it. There's no need to waste things and throw it away every time. We have such a wasteful, disposable society. I really hate that. So I try to reuse my plastic if I have to absolutely use plastic. Put it in there. Don't squish down too hard. You're not trying to, you know, make the super thin. I've never used this before, so I don't know how strong it's going to be. It can go a little thinner. So squish it down. Is that about right? That feels like it's about right. You pull it off. And I have a tortilla. I'll put this over here. Grab another ball. Put that right there. This is the first time I've ever used my squisher, so you're watching me do it for the very first time. And so far, Salim, it's working well. You can squish a little more. Oop, I might have over squished it. We'll find out. So you can see the thickness. You can experiment with the, see, this one got really thin on this side. That was my fault. But put that right there. Grab another ball. Actually, I'm going to make this easier on myself. Put this flat. Squish. Check. Oops. Slightly deformed. That's okay. Put that here. Now that I have a few that are ready to cook, I'm going to go ahead and cook them. And I pulled out my tortillera. I know, it's funny, but it's literally a container specifically made to hold your tortillas. You just put a cloth in there of some sort, you know, so it doesn't, because it steams when you close it, and then it's got the lid. You don't have to use this. You can use a bowl or a plate with a couple of cloths on top of it. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's head to the stove. Here we are. These have been heating for a while. Grab a little bit of water. It bounces around. It evaporates. Pretty hot. Might be even a little too hot. I will lower the temperature the tiniest bit. Okay. So, here we go. First one. And second one. You're going to let it cook for a few seconds. I usually try to do it about 30 seconds on the first side. And you just watch. You can see the steam rising. You're not trying to burn them. And I haven't made tortillas in a while, so we'll see how this turns out. To make this easier, because it does get really hot, and if you're not used to it, it will be a little painful. You flip it over. And you can see it's already cooking on the one side. So let it cook another few seconds. Again, I'll leave it for about like 20-30 seconds. Then you squish when you flip it over, and that's how you get it to bubble up. In case you guys are ever wondering how they get their tortillas to get nice and bubbly, if you go to a Mexican home or you get fresh tortillas from a factory, this is how they do it. All right, you guys ready? I'm putting it in my tortillera and burning myself in the process. Grabbing the other one. Ooh, again, hot, hot, hot. And there you go. I've made a few tortillas. I have a few left to go, but I've got tortillas made, and I haven't made fresh tortillas in a really long time. I love fresh tortillas. I have some fresh salsa that I made, well, a little bit left over that I made earlier this week. As you can see, I didn't leave a lot for myself. It's a roasted tomato salsa, which I've showed you before, so I will put the link up there for you in case you're curious. Put a little bit of the salsa on my tortilla. That's still hot and burning me, but that's okay. Oh my God. This is so delicious. You have no idea. It's just warming the cockles of my little Mexican heart. Mmm. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I have amor in my panza. Big difference from store-bought. There is no comparison. These are cheap. They're not hard. Just a little practice. And if you try it, let me know. If there's anything else that you want me to show you how to do, Mexican cooking, other kinds of cooking, especially vegetarian cooking, I'll do that too. All right, guys. Oh, I hope you try it, because these are so good. So flipping delicious. All right, guys. Listen, stay good, be kind, and be nice. Love you.